Welcome to She Lives, where magic and mystery become the blueprint and path to creating a new reality, deeply rooted in the essence of your soul. Join me as we hear, feel, and see through lenses and senses of intuitive wisdom and soul-based leadership. This is the She Lives podcast. Episode 6.2 of Trailblazing Your Soul Path, Mountains and Animism. Hello, my name is Hazel Evans and this is the She Lives podcast. Today is part 2 of the big one, the mountainous one, the epic animated episode that gives you guidance to navigate your inner landscapes like a pro. In this episode, we are going to pick up where we left off in episode 6.1. So we got halfway before on the journey. It's like we stopped at a halfway house, a refuge, as we were climbing up the mountain together. And I remember staying at refuges overnight in the Alps as I was learning how to climb mountains. It was glorious. A place to rest your head and your body and to enter the dream world under the stars. So when I closed the recording for part 1 and we came into a refuge together between episode 1 and episode 2, this song came to me and I started singing it. So I'm going to share it with you now. And I always find that when songs come through like this, it's a soul message. So in this halfway house, this message of the refuge came. And it's like the liminal space between episode 1 and 2, the space to receive profound messages of the dream world. And this one came through as a song. So here we go. This is for you. Listen to your heart when it's calling for you. Listen to your heart. There's nothing else you can't do. I don't know where you're going and I don't know why, but listen to your heart before it tells you goodbye. So there we have it. Listen to Your Heart by Roxette, an incredible song from the 90s, I think, or the noughties. Anyway, I slightly changed the lyrics there because that's what came through for me. To listen to your heart, it is calling you and guiding you, and that is what is important about this trailblazery journey, is to keep deeply listening into the heart, the intuition that sparked by the flames and the fire of your heart. And this is how important your journey is, your journey of your life, my friends. And so keep listening to your heart, keep on with the journey of remembering who you truly are. And let's get on now with part 2 of Trailblazing Your Soul Path, Mountains and Animism. Part 1 led us in. It was the beginning of the journey, and now it's part 2. During the break, whilst I was singing Listen to Your Heart, I was also thinking about how journeys evolve, and that the way in which I deliver the messages to you is really a journey in itself. That my podcast is not about giving you a load of bullet points, it's about taking the journey. And it reminded me, because at the moment you could be listening at any time of the year, but at the moment it's summertime here. And I was thinking that, wow, how can I, relate the importance of the journey? How is it relatable? And actually it's like a holiday, It's like you decide to go on holiday, but you don't just go on holiday. You have to actually take the journey of going on holiday. You can write a to-do list of bullet points to make your journey happen, and then you have to follow through with it. And this is exactly what it's like as we're journeying on the inner world. So like a holiday, like, arriving at the destination of finding yourself on your inner world. You don't just arrive there like some kind of miracle. I mean, it might happen for some people, but it hasn't for me. And I think, for the majority of us humans, we have to take this journey through the density of our current reality and all of the trials and tribulations, and that equates to the density of our inner world, the trauma and the stories and everything that's locked into the body memory, and that's what we're doing. We're learning how to navigate that and unlock that, beyond sitting in talk therapy, beyond going to a workshop and wishing that you could do the same at home. I'm like, yeah, we can. We're doing this and we're taking control, and we're doing that. We're taking the journey. You're taking the journey too. So my sharing these podcast journeys is a bit like that, and hopefully it inspires you to, just like you would prepare for a holiday, you get everything you need in order, and you design what kind of holiday you're doing, and you get it all in place so that you can go in, you can journey deep, and you can go and get the gold. So that when you come out of your inner world journey, you don't feel traumatized by what you've seen, even though, for example, you might go on holiday and there's delays with the flight. You don't let that override your whole holiday experience. You focus on the good bits, and you aim for the good bits, and you bring those back with you. It's like bringing back those memories. And that's essentially similar to what we do when we journey on the inner world. Although it might not feel like a holiday most of the time as we're travelling into the depths of the underworld of our psyches, but you learn to be a pro and a master at it with some practice. Just like, there was a first time when you went on holiday on your own, you did it, and then you can travel again. Same thing here. The only difference here is that when you've worked and you've gone on holiday on your inner world, there's more lasting effects rather than just memories. There's this lasting effect of change. It's like you journey inwards to bring the essence of the holiday in you out into everyday life. You liberate the golden life within you and you bring it out, and you do that by living your passion and you're living your soul path. And one of the benefits of, trailblazing your soul path is like you feel like you've gone and gathered the gold, and it feels like the sun shining upon you on the golden beach of your life. And that is always like an anchor that you can carry through into everyday life. And this is also is a beautiful analogy of how animism can work, relating our outside world to our inside world, etc. So I'm not saying that, like I said, going into the depths of the inner world is like a holiday. It's far from that most of the time when we're looking for those places to heal the traumas and unpack the conditioning and the conforming and all of that which doesn't serve us. So it's rather an adventure, isn't it?
Falling, falling, falling. Just one drop falling, 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 frozen in time on the top of the mountain. One drop of time to take the path.
Let's get a bit further into animism right now. First of all, the word animism comes from the Latin word anima, meaning soul or life. But let's investigate how that would translate to living a soulful life, an animate life, living alive, living the soul of your life, trailblazing your soul path. This is what this is actually inviting you into. I see animism as a bridge between the seen and the unseen, the ancient and the new, the nature inside and outside of you, the physical and the mysterious, esoteric. the wisdom of knowing that objects, places, creatures, they all have a distinct spiritual essence. And this is what I first started talking about, how to connect with that, with the mountains in part 1. So this essence is mirrored in you, and it can be your guide, the mountain guide to the diverse terrains inside of you, a guide to bring you home, to remember who you truly are. Part of nature. You are part of nature. You are part of the whole, and you are part of the universe. And it's making that connection again. It gives reference to union between the human soul, the divine soul, and the soul of all things. And this has gone back through millennia. You know, it's in sacred texts and stone tablets and scriptures and cultures, etc. And some say that animism is a belief system, that it's a practice, but I witness it more as something that naturally awakens within you when you are on your soul path. It's not a method to follow, it's something that awakens in you when you're living your purpose and mission, and it's like it's the sacred flame of your unification with nature inside of you and outside of you that align, and it naturally starts guiding you every day. At least that's how I've witnessed it emerging in and through me. I didn't search for it, it started happening within me as I started aligning with my soul. And it is indeed the essence of the soul coming to the forefront to be seen as the guiding light. And it's where everything comes alive, and it's like the magic that we talk about, and it's the magic that children feel. It's the innocence of nature itself. It's the love that's in everything, and it can be felt and heard in everything, and it makes life beautiful and worth living. It's all the colours rising from the numbed out black and white world that we are told is real life. That's not real life. The life that most of us have grown up in and told that is the real life that we're programmed into is not the real life. The real life is the leaves that we see on the trees, it's the wind, it's the water, and how we feel the sensations of it as it brings us alive in our bodies, in our beings, and how it inspires us to not only make ourselves, better in ourselves, but that inspires others as well. When you are living your greatness, that inspires others too. And I feel like it's the spiritual essence awakening inside. It is in itself a map to your soul and your life journey when you start tapping into what that means, becoming alive, becoming your own animation of your own journey. You are the story, and I always say this, your story matters. Your life is your masterpiece. It is the life force of determination to live and love everything. I know that seems pretty radical, right? But I can only share where my life journey has taken me, and if you can find inspiration for that, for you to keep going, then this is why I'm sharing this. So, animism, yes. Some also say that it's a primitive culture with an anthropological coining of the phrase animism in 1871 precisely. But as with all innate gifts of intuition and heightened sense of perception beyond the material, I see and feel that there is no worth that anyone can put on it by offering any kind of coinage to any phrase. Because embodying animism is your birthright. So it is an innate gift. It is primal, it is nature, it is oneness. And often there is no word that really truly cuts it. It's It's the feeling of deep guidance that is from the spark of love within you that connects to everything. And it's your birthright. And it's naturally you. It's in you, and it's ready to be awoken. Now, from another perspective of trying to understand what it is, others might say that it's a religious movement, but I say it is not, because no dogma or belief system can attach to this powerful, innate gift that is already within you when you are born. It's your intrinsic connection to the one and all and everything. So you have the right to be connected to nature and to feel it all of it. Not just a bunch of flowers or a leaf pattern on your dress, not just on a day trip out to the park or the zoo. If you're lucky enough, you may go somewhere more remote. But not just to have parts of it like this, but to have it all, and to have it alive within you. Because every day it is everywhere, and every journey that we go on, we can be inspired by our connection to nature and see how that relates to us inside. And this is where you can quantum leap your own inner development, your own personal growth journey, to allow your senses and feelings to come back again. Allow yourself to feel again. And this is one of the things that can be scary when you're journeying on your inner reality, because we've been so shut off from emotions and feeling and suppression and all of that, that sometimes we're afraid to express and feel everything, which means we're actually afraid to be alive. And this is what it's about. It's about daring to be alive. I mean, it's in the name of my podcast, She Lives. I mean, of course it applies to everybody, but I just happen to be a woman. So I'm talking from that perspective, but everybody's welcome, of course. Now, I'm just rather enjoying myself making this podcast after such a long hiatus from being on my own journey. I'm just so enjoying this. Right, let's get on with it, Hazel. So we're talking about the nature inside and out. And this is for you to realise that you are part of it and part of the whole, and part of Mother Earth, part of Gaia, part of our sacred world, and taking this journey to reclaim that magic that is that you are intrinsically connected to part of the world soul. It has nothing to do with any dogma, religion, method, thought process, belief system, etc. This is how I've experienced it. It's like it's all of those. It's everything. It's everything. And it's the soul that comes through in you, the light of your heart that stands on the top of the mountain and says, yeah, I am alive. It's so the words animus mundi were given to describe, the soul, the world soul. And what does this mean? Well, it's all the animals, the plants, the rocks, the rivers, the oceans, the mountains, the natural weather systems. It's also in the craft work, the weavings, the working with the clay, working with what is natural. And it's the animation of your own creations turned into form, sacred artifacts that become relics of your own journey of creation. You are what you create, and this is why creative practices are really powerful in themselves to show where you're at. And this is why I always introduce creative practices as part of this journey. It's not just about doing art, it's about being the art, and anybody can do that. And not everybody has to be or is an artist, but you have a creative spirit, and you can bring that through in craft work, you can bring that through in writing, you can bring that through in many different creative practices, and through that being inspired by the nature outside of you and inside of you. Not only that, using only what we need, and creating these sacred pieces that really help us on our journey, rather than consuming and needing more and more and more to fill a hole, a gap within our hearts that we haven't dared to heal. And aligning with this creative, animate way of life enables you to breathe a breath of life again, to live as new, to discover new parts of yourself. As she lives inside of you, as he lives, as we live together, we all have agency and free will. We have been given birthright just by being born through love, the act of love making itself. Birthright to choose to be connected to the genius genes that are inside every single one of us. And these genius genes, they're really, most children are, I saw this the other day, most children are tested and they have a genius level of consciousness, but we lose that through our programming and growing up to become adults and leaving that innocence behind. And this is what I'm talking about, is reconnecting to that genius innocence that is still alive within you. If I can do it, you can do it, everybody can do it. And essentially it's like we hit the override button of our trained mindset and we choose to come home. We choose to remember the soul, and that choice is available at any time. The journey, however, will be more or less difficult depending on how far you have strayed off the track of your soul and into the dark, sense-deprived matrix world of destruction, mistaking it for the sacred, deep, sensual world of creation. Now is the time to start reorientating towards creation, and that requires the connection to the heart and the healing of the heart. It's time to take this journey. It's time to reconnect to the sacred inside and out. Our ancestors are here. They are here in every rock, stone, leaf, everything, even in our clothes, everything that is created here has been made from what is already here. And nature is here to guide us as we return home, and we can do that at any time. In fact, the further I got on my journey, self-discovery journey, let's say, just to keep it simple, the more I have witnessed this gift of animism awakening inside of me. So I invite you to see how much deeper you can go into your own journey so that you feel more connected to everything as well. And then what is possible to create from there? Well, what comes alive in you when you are more connected? So like I said before, first of all, we kind of work from the outside, and then we see if we can go inside. And then when you get further enough on your journey, you start realizing, oh, I've connected with the deep inside and I can start working outside now. So when we start working from the outside in order to prepare ourselves for the inner journey, we start noticing the signs, the signals, the calls of intuition, the synchronicities. And those voices, for example, if you, for example, have a new job or buy a new car or a house or enter a new relationship, and you have this inner voice going, this doesn't quite feel right. That's what you have to follow, because every time I've gone against that, it's really not been good for me. So this is the listening to the intuition. And then when you're more aligned and you're listening to the intuition, these synchronicities come. And these synchronicities we can describe as the awakening of your psychic powers, your intuition, whatever that means. And it's different for everybody. Everybody has different gifts. So these are the first signs that start taking us in. And this starts radically shifting your perspective and reality already. It's sort of guiding you to become more free. What if you did believe in yourself? What if you did believe in that feeling you had? What if you did trust that intuition and you followed it? What if? And it's like I said in episode 1, it's feeling that resistance that your mind might go, yeah, but it's dangerous, yeah, but it wasn't real, yeah, but this or that, I haven't got time, etc. And then going, no, actually, I'm going to lean in and discover what that voice inside of me says and where it takes me on the journey. And this is the journey to becoming more free, because you are then leading you. And this is when the animism starts awakening inside of you, and the trusting of that, trusting in the downloads, the visions, etc., that are all coming from the inside, and they're guiding you how to create the reality on your outside. And this is how I work with everything that I create. All of my courses, my art, my trainings, etc. It all comes from a deep vision within that requires a complete trust that maybe, it doesn't have the right algorithms, maybe it doesn't, tick all the boxes or have the right bullet points, but it's what I'm being guided by, and slowly it's deeply healing, and it's deeply aligning to my soul purpose more and more, and it's such a pleasure to share with you. And as you continue this, the magic increases, the connection increases, the, for want of better words, psychic abilities increase, the intuition increases. Whatever superpowers you feel that you have that are, unique to you and your way of relating to the world increases and comes alive even more, and it guides you even more. So life really starts getting interesting when this happens, and it really feels like magic. It's the magic of feeling like you are the mountain. It's the magic of seeing the hawks or the eagles that are flying up high, feeling like you are flying with them, that you can feel what it's like to have wings. And then you bring that into your everyday life. That's what builds your confidence. That's what heals your heart. That's what brings you back to life. So now we're reaching the top of the mountain, let's say, of this podcast, Mountainous Journey. Let's all take a deep breath together. With the intention to release the old, surrender and open to a new way of being, a new journey, a new deepening of connection to our soul resonance. One drop at a time, one step at a time, one moment at a time.
Falling, falling, falling. Just one drop falling, 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 frozen in time on the top of the mountain. One drop of time to take the path. One drop of a moment to make it last. Cast in glass, a fragile course to find the way deep into the source. Search for the answer and follow the clue. Just one drop falling will follow you. Search for the answer, it won't look for you. Follow the inked path and the black inky blue. Just one drop. Falling. Calling the clues into the ink mountains, the figures diffuse. Just one drop. Recalling the words of eagling birds, falling and soaring above in the sky, over the ink mountains, frozen in time.
Some may say this gift of sensing and feeling so much belongs to the mystics, the indigenous, the spiritual, maybe the oversensitive woman. Maybe it's an excuse not to summon the powers of feeling and sensing so much within oneself. Yet, you are sensual, you are mysterious, you are sensitive. You have indigenous wisdom in your blood, even if it's been hidden for eons. You have the innate indigenous bloodline of your heritage inside of you, your pure blood, your DNA, and you can access this wisdom as you breathe life into your inner world. Your breath of life, your expression, your essence of your soul coming home, calling you home. And now it is time more than ever in this crazy world that is trying to sever the sacred soul from the heart fires of our homes inside and out. Because the ravaging and pillaging and raping and abusing and misusing, commoditizing, polluting, ransacking of the earth, the body, mind and soul, in ourselves, in our families, it continues everywhere without most of us even knowing it. So the so-called normal status that we are all so glad to return to after a crisis, I think you know what I mean, is only part of the journey that realizing senses are being ignited here, warning signs, signals from deep within to say there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity to reclaim your indigenous soul, the innate soul. And only on this journey of reclaiming the soul, trailblazing your own path, will you start to realize it was here all along. There is no going back to normal when you're in the mysterious mountain ranges of your inner landscapes, locked indoors with only you to contend with yourself. Stuck outside on the top of the mountain, only you can rely on yourself to continue up the mountain, to come back down. The choice is yours. There is a way through it all. And there is a way through every single experience that we experience in our life. Everything is an opportunity to grow. Perhaps it's the crisis or the catastrophe, a breakup or a breakdown that gives you some rocket fuel to get to your soul path a bit faster. Others may not choose to lean in. Maybe they choose the sofa, the comfortable scenic route, the picnic on the plateau and just stay there and set up camp to keep the status quo. And maybe you have to keep going alone, coming out of your current situation to explore something new, to go beyond the status quo, to go beyond keep playing the violins as the Titanic is sinking. Yeah, it happens differently for everyone, and the choice gets presented and everyone can choose their own way. But maybe you feel it stirring inside of you, and maybe it's out of your control. Maybe it's taking you. Maybe it feels like you might get whisked up by a tornado of chaos. Or maybe you've been dropped into the deep wild jungle with the almighty helicopter of divine intervention to wake TF up. It happens differently for everybody. It's a wake-up call saying, you're ready now, you're ready. You're ready to take the journey and discover what your soul has to offer you. If you feel lost on your path, know that there is a way through. It's like being lost in the forest of one's own illusions with only a guide map found on your fingerprints. in your intuition and mirrored in the new unknown terrain around you. Now is the time you become the animation of your own life story. Animate in every moment as your life unfolds to the next moment of survival, to get out alive and to turn surviving into thriving. Even now, can you ask yourself, can I survive alone? Can I survive alone to discover the essence of my heart? Yes, because this is the journey of your life and you were made for it. This is your sacred journey home. This is the wisdom, the part of the wisdom of the journey that is found where the forests meet the mountains and the mountains meet you. And you realize that you are up for the challenge.
Falling. Falling. Just one drop. Just one drop of time.
Into the depths and far beyond, a place you never told me I could go on. This path over treadmill beneath my feet, and the words of the forest began to speak. Dance with us, we'll show you the way, over the mountains and far away. So far away, far, far away, far, far away.
Now is time to reclaim your inner guidance, the innate indigenous within, returning to the wisdom of our lands inside and out. It's waiting for us. It will take no prisoners. You have to be all in, and I know you are. But wait a minute. I'm a white British woman. How can I declare my indigenous when it feels so lost in a bygone era? Well, my cry into the wilderness of lost souls at the beginning of my journey was, how can I find myself when I feel so lost? This shows immediately in a country such as England where to start. In a way, we're all lost, and that means that there's always a beginning, a new path to carve, to create. We start with ourselves and we take the most profound journey of reclamation that we can, deep into the caverns of the heart and beyond, breaking open every blockage, no matter what it takes. How far are you willing to go to truly reclaim your indigenous heritage? And I mean more than a moon calendar or a Celtic cross necklace, more than a training or a method. I ask, what more is in your heart? The art of the landscape of your soul. Can you express it? Can you take the journey to find out what that is and bring it to life? Because our innate wisdom is still here. I was told this many years ago as a story, and I believed it, I followed it, and I've made it come alive in me. And if I can do it, so can you. Yes, it has been stripped from us, generation after generation, just as other continents, and still continues. But it is still here. We are also told that the ancestors are supporting us, and it's still here, if only we choose, and it is. Even though, for example, in the not so distant past, in the wake of divide and separation left by the colonialists and conformists, whose soul severed their own people right here too, before they savaged and ravaged other lands on their quest for power, money and control. I mean, who really knows who did what, as we are coming to also learn that the stories that we're told are not always as they seem. What really happened to the ancient civilizations? What really happened to this incredible connection that we had, that we are told in itself is just a story? So I am here to invite turning the stories round, turning them on their heads and turning them into gold. And this gold is achieved by listening to the vibration of your heart and following nothing but that inner guidance. There's no righteousness there. There's just love. So this is another good reason to return to the maps of intuition for guidance. My so-called white privilege has also brought me abuse, suffering and separation under the covert guise of societal evolution, the hidden demise of colonialization and modern day slavery, none of which I agree to or condone in the past, now or in the future. I don't buy these lies of it's for your own safety or, well, that's just part of life now. I don't buy those lies any longer. We should not have to live under the false illusion of lies as truth, because the truth comes from your heart, and that is what to follow. I, like so many of us, have seen and felt too much, as I know most of the world's population have. And it's time for the exodus. It's time for the great trailblaze of the soul to return home. Women and men alike, all of us together. Now we vision quest inwards to reclaim it all. This is where we get the power. And with this, we don't just reclaim it all. We reclaim it with interest, I might add, because as the time and planets have evolved and revolved, we are now at a new time, and we have time on our side as we rise from the ashes of our burned witch foremothers, resurrected our ships from our days of drowning in the wild ravaging seas, and reclaim the land that is ours as we breathe again, the sovereignty of our own bodies, the wisdom that is in our bodies, our love for nature, and our lost tribe's wisdom, resurrected in love. Body and soul united, the land of our hearts, we are here. We are the new and true leaders. We are the new tribe awakening. We are the trailblazers of the soul. We are here, the wisdom keepers bridging worlds, the ancient and the new. The animated ones come back to life, waking tidal ripples through the slumber of false tales, and sailing our ships of glory back into the dream life of harmony, inside and out. The new civilization that is coming now replaces the years of destruction of the soul and severance. And it has nothing to do with AI, I might add. The superhuman is already in you. Your innate intelligence is ready to be ignited. In the AI world, you have to sacrifice the soul in exchange for some level of material gain, which will probably need multiple boosters to keep you topped up and continual updates to keep going to the next level. It reminds me rather how narcissism works, in fact. Now, I'm not saying that all technology is bad, but I'm just saying it's how we use it that really matters. And you see, going into the natural world, in the natural animate world, you will have to sacrifice your ego in exchange for high levels of innate intelligence and unlimited supply to universal love, energy, and heart-centered miracles. So you decide. I know which one I have chosen, and there is a merging that can happen with the right use of technology. But it's pretty edgy at the moment, isn't it? I think it's pretty edgy, and it in itself will lead to its own demise. For it is actually breaking the laws of nature, and that never ends well, let's say. So it might be a difficult choice for some, because society is wanting to lead us down this dead end of a path, essentially, to our own demise. But we have to let it take its own demise of itself, whilst we are choosing for love. This is where the reorientation comes in. And I have seen that this is possible within myself. I have radically turned my perspectives round from things such as believing that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, my work's not good enough, etc., etc. I don't fit in, all of these things, not beautiful enough, whatever it is, to finding my own path and realizing that I do fit in because my soul fits in. My soul fits into my body and it fits into my life. And this will be the same for you. And this is like really deep, radical changing of perspectives that for me has gone way beyond therapy or any kind of first level steps of personal evolution. It's really taking control, really taking the control back and choosing to be your own spark of inspiration that leads you further on your soulful journey. So let us now for a moment just summon the elders through every rock and plant and element, through every tree and flower and plant, through the vibration of our own beating hearts, of our own songs and stories. And may the mountains and hills come alive with this sound of glorious music from our hearts as we ignite the flames of our love for everything. From each mountaintop we see the flames of another great bright spark holding the light, saying, we've got this, we made it to the top, we have triumphed against all the odds. I'm alive, I am light, and I am showing you, come on, let's light these flames of love. And this is what is happening now, my friends. And we are here to triumph at this journey called life, not just to live somebody else's systematic, programmed dream. We are here to live our own lives, to carry the blazing flames of our hearts to great heights, to inspire others to light the flames of their hearts. The old world is crumbling in its own demise and of its own making, and we are here to lead and to trailblaze the way so that we can come out of this alive, souls alive. So get in there, get into the jungle, the forest, and get up those mountains, inside and out, and see what your soul has to offer you. Together we light the torches of the broken hearts and reunite the sacred network of the soul stream, alive in this life, the stream of consciousness, where she lives, he lives, we live, to tell the tale of our great awakening.
Dance with us, we'll show you the way. over the mountains and far away.
Drop of time. Just one drop.
Well, you are here listening. You are receiving a transmission, an invitation. You are already doing it. I hope you have been inspired today to feel the essence of soul trailblazery. It's magnificent. It is you. And after listening today, take some time out to tune into yourself and listen deeply to your inner voice that is calling you in, calling you home to some deeper wisdom inside of you. Take the journey with it. Draw, write, sing, walk, hike, dance. Let it show you the way and be inspired from your own sacred source of internal power. This is how you ignite the essence of trailblazing inside of you, and this is what make you trailblaze on the outside to create a new life with your soul intact. Because when you have it on the inside, you can make it happen on the outside. And that's when you get long-lasting effects. Because the foundations of your soul leadership are there firmly rooted in you, and no one can take that away. Okay, it's time to wrap up. I've been on a wild journey, my friends, and I feel like this podcast episode, goodness me, it has been wild in itself to get to the point where I can deliver some kind of sense of the depths of which I feel the mountain journey is profound. It has taken me to places I never even knew existed inside of me, and I'm glad to share some of this with you. So on my own journey, I'm only just coming out, I'm only just coming back to life and embarking on the sacred task of sharing my journey with you now. That's part of my next courageous task, I might add. I would love to hear from you. So let me know how you've been inspired by this podcast episode. Let me know how you're journeying on your inner landscapes and how it's relating to your outer world. Because your story matters, and I love receiving inspiring messages from you. And if you feel called to work with me further, check out my website for details, www.thesovereignjourney.com. I have some incredible sovereign initiation journeys coming for you later this year and into 2025. So make sure you get on my mailing list to be the first to find out about these new releases and more. And at the moment, I'm having an amazing giveaway package with my mailing list sign up, including a 40-page ebook that gives you insight into the themes and the making of the music that accompanies this podcast. It also includes a journal inviting you to lean into the next steps of your own evolutionary path in a gentle way, let's say, that invitation to lean in. So sign up, get in there and enjoy my creations to help you be inspired by your own journey and taking your own sovereign journey of self-mastership. So for now, I will love you and leave you. But I feel the call to end with a few more spoken lyrics from The Littlest Hobo, written by Terry Bush, as I have done my job for today, and this song is incredible, so I'm going to share another part of it with you. And afterwards, I'm offering you a little recording that I made whilst I was in the Scottish Highlands earlier this year. It's some reflections on how the landscape makes me feel when I was in that moment, and I was sitting in the sunshine then, so I hope it brings you a ray of sunshine too. So enjoy, and much love for now. Goodbye. There's a world that's waiting to unfold, a brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far, but you know it won't be long. We're almost there, we've paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home. Until tomorrow, you know I'm free to roam. So if you want to join me for a while, just grab your hat, we'll travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll want to settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. I'm here in the Scottish Highlands. I've just walked up a track, up a hill, and ahead of me I can see a loch shining as the sun has come out, and rays are shining through the clouds as if it's heaven here. It is heaven, it's heaven on earth. There's a waterfall, trickling, streaming, consciousness, love, through the land, and above me there's a hawk soaring over me, crying, singing, sharing its tune with me. It's beautiful here, and it's really been a coming home very deeply for both myself and my partner, and a remembering of the deep heritage, the Celtic roots, the indigenous roots, the ancestral roots that perhaps have been a little bit further away until now. And it's so beautiful as I watch, as I'm recording this, and the ever-changing landscape, as those rays of sun are creating layers of the mountains that unfold in front of me. It's stunning. So this podcast was about mountains. It is about mountains. But the journey to get to this point of recording has been in itself an initiation for me. A transformation of my relationship with the mountains. One which has been challenging from having lived in the Alps, and the part of my journey, the story that I was when I lived there, to who I am now. And all of the beautiful gifts that the mountain brings. So much beauty in all the seasons and all the colours of the flowers and the trees and the animals and the birds and the bees that live here. My heart is full. My heart is completely full. And I wanted to record just a little bit whilst I'm actually still here, sitting in the Scottish Highlands, having had such a rich month here, so full of daily ceremony of life, seeing how much I can notice and feel and be, and how much the season and the elements and the colours can run through me. How much can I embody of the essence that is here? And this has come through in some of the art that I have made when I've been here, and it's also fueling my writing, and it's fueling me who I am becoming. And I don't know about you, but I need air. I need air and space to breathe and to feel myself. And this is what this place has given me. Off the beaten track, away from the tourists, into places, glens, waterfalls, reaching peaks. All of that experience that I create in my outside life, I also see how it translates on my inside world. And this is what is so powerful. One of the things that's so powerful about mountains, it's really discovering the highs and the lows, the peaks and the valleys, and all of the beauty that is right here, and how it's also reflected inside. Being in the mountains has brought me the next step, the next phase of feeling peace, forgiveness, gratitude, a sense of grounded holiness in accepting myself as a human, as a spiritual being, a soul with a mission to not only be inspired, but to inspire. And so I hope that this podcast inspires you to perhaps find a place in nature, birds, animals, flowers, plants, to connect, to slow down, and connect with the spirit of nature, and what she has to tell you. So, what are the next steps? Where does this lead? Let's find out. Join me for the next phase, the next steps, as each step forward these days is a new step into the unknown. Getting used to that. It's terrifying and beautiful all at the same time. Okay, with the guidance of the hawk above me and this flow of this waterfall, I'm going to walk back down the track, and we're going to walk towards that lock this evening that I can see there, and maybe go for a swim. From highs to lows, from water, air, earth, and the fire of the sun that kisses my skin. Let's take another step into the unknown and enjoy the next part of the journey. Goodbye for now. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast today. May you live your magnificence today and beyond. Lots of love, and see you soon for another episode of She Lives.